And we're live. Hello, good evening, good afternoon. This is Scene from Minneapolis by Night. Today we have Ryu kind of stressing out because this has been the fifth straight day that he's had to cover Mori High's classes. So he's now getting worried, and he's making a call to his cabal leader, Miriam,
Okay.
to inform her that we have a situation.
All right. Miriam will show up at whatever agreed upon address, which, for the sake of funny, is going to be the Chinese restaurant Miriam has all her meetings in public at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
And would you mind rolling me 3 dice? Would you? And if you botch, I
uh,
slap you.
okay. I'm going to say please say you're burning willpower so I don't botch. Uh.
Why would I want to waste willpower on a rote?
Oh yeah, true. Give me a sec. Um.
I mean, I might have to do a scene later, and I might have to need that willpower. It only
This is
respawns
true.
every day.
One. Two successes actually, or if it's diff 5,
3. It's a rote.
3. Okay, it's three successes. You're good.
So yeah, it's the rote that Miriam does so that she can have her meetings in public
Okay.
and people won't bother
You,
her. It's just people go, yeah, and walk away from her table.
yeah. You notice Ryu looks like he just came from teaching class. He didn't even get out his his karate gi before he came in.
Miriam will gesture for him to have a seat. Have you
Still
tried the
sit
orange?
down.
Have you tried the orange chicken? It's really good here.
Oh, not yet. I've been meaning to grab that one.
What can I do for you?
We have a slight problem.
Yes.
Mori has come up missing.
This is news.
Uh, well, considering none of I've heard no rumor of none of the masters giving him a secret mission, and he's got his own place. Not to mention, he hauled off and left his apprentice, which I need to talk to, but I need to get a hold of, talk to eventually. I've been covering his classes for about 5 days now.
Okay. We got the only thing I can tell you is Morahide basically since basically I haven't seen him since we founded the Cabal.
The thing about it is, he should have been been here though, because the new apprentice just recently awoken. He was there at and to talk to him after the awakening. We usually just don't call up and leave when we have a student with that
Um,
young.
well, there's not much we can do because I presume you've spoken to one of your masters who has better understanding of correspondence than I do.
I've been trying to get a hold of him. I keep getting voicemail.
So all of your masters have gone missing as well. That's much
I
more
don't.
troubling.
Yeah, I don't know about that because they could be just busy. I haven't actually been to the main dojo in a while since after the whole thing at school.
Yeah.
I could ask Centauro, but Shidoshi, but he's more of a mind specialist, not a correspondence specialist.
Well, I could only really find him if he was in the city, and I don't know of my expertise in finding him without someone with a bit more mind than I have, because I don't know him well enough to latch onto his mind.
Well,
So I hate
well,
to
here's
say this, but what you need to do is you probably want to handle this in the Akashics.
yeah. I'm trying to work that out as we speak. Considering I also got to get a hold of Centauro about covering the bills over at the dojo. Because yeah, he even left the dojo unattended.
How much do you need?
He'll give you an X amount.
Miriam will take out her phone and she'll calculate some numbers, and she'll look at you and say, think you can keep the place moderately profitable?
So far, so good. I'm doing pretty well.
Well, congratulations. It's yours. And she she reaches into her purse and she grabs what's called a blank maker, and she grabs a blank credit card with a chip in it, and she puts it in the blank maker, and she basically is turning it into a debit card.
Oh God. Okay.
And yeah, what she's basically done is she's using real money, so it's not like she's being really illegal. She's using the real money in her real fake name bank account to basically give you a debit card off of Green Dragon funds.
Oh goody.
And she's going to hand it over, and she's going to say, it's property of the cabal now.
All
As
right,
long as
that
you can
works.
convince his creditors that you can pay them.
That works. I will also see about getting a percentage of the profits go over to the Green Dragon.
Well, that's the idea, is just pay me back when you can, and hopefully that will keep it afloat.
All right. Thing is, we need it. I wanted to get in touch with you because, well, that and well, we this is the second of our people that's either exploded or come up missing.
Yeah, that's between that and half of the cabal leaving to form the hub.
Yeah.
We've basically we've lost some standing, but I'm sure we can regain it.
Yeah.
The other issue is that of those who've gone missing, 2 of them have been Akashics. So I would keep your head down in case somebody's going after Akashics.
Right.
In other words, I would probably use some of that money I just handed you to hire a mortal to teach that dojo.
This is true. I'll start working on it.
Good.
But but also this is the thing is it may have been two Akashics that have gone missing, but that's two Akashics out of the Green Dragon Cabal.
That's true.
We don't really know if it's just the Akashics in general or the Cabal
Well, if it is the
being
cabal,
targeted.
if it is the cabal, I guarantee you almost all eyes are going to move to the hub, because almost all of our support from the Mage Council is being moved to the hub.
Right.
So I don't think we have any danger in that degree. If anyone else, I'm going to work on something. I wish I had Solus with me, but I may end up just having to do it the painful way. I'm thinking of RFID chipping every member of the Cabal.
Ow.
It'll only hurt for a moment. But it'll let me find you anywhere in the world, so...
This is true.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll just need to do it the painful way. It'll only hurt for a moment. Don't worry. It does mean I need to buy some veterinary supplies.
My thing is, which of the people is it that's targeting us? The law firm or what? Or who?
It always filters back to the technocracy.
There's that.
That's my philosophy, and it's kept me alive so far. And Miriam will sip some tea and say, but yes, I'm serious. Everyone in the Cabal is going to be RFID chipped. That way, nobody else can go missing.
Yep.
At least not on this plane.
Yep.
And if you happen to know someone with enough spirit magic and enough prime to make it so the RFID chip goes through other plane, you might want to give them a call while I set this up.
Guess what?
Yes.
You'd have to be looking at Nikolai and the out of character Josh's old character.
It doesn't matter.
He'll say, yeah, you'll be basically say those two names.
Then I'll have to look at Aline. It'll give him something to do until he can get the stuff for that Stargate of his.
Yep. The thing is, those two, Nikolai has come up missing too.
All right.
Are we sure that what you call it just in paradox himself in the chantry?
It's a possibility. But all right.
I can actually go and see him for, if I want to.
I still want a way to track you.
Yeah, I know.
We gotta be solid and watch each other's backs. I hate to do it, but I might have to start asking that everyone who's in the Cabal sleep in the Cabal.
That's going to be a problem considering I also got to watch the dojo. Yeah, that's.
Hey, there's this wonderful invention called security cameras.
I'm going to look into getting those installed.
Miriam will put a hand out for the debit card, and she'll put it back into the blank maker and transfer another couple $100 and hand it back.
He'll take it.
Yeah, security cameras, motion sensors, and go ahead and splurge for the infrared. You've earned it.
Okay.
You know,
I'm not going to leave those kids unattended, especially with a freshly awakened with a mortal.
Yeah. By the way, that makes him your apprentice now.
Yeah, that's why I got to talk to him eventually.
Not eventually, soon.
He's coming in the next class. He actually, since his awakening, jumped to the advanced class and
As
getting his black belt and black belt here soon. From my
yeah.
records, from what Mori High left.
Um, one thing that I'm going to tell you to do is, if you're really worried and paranoid, be clever, because clever security always trumps high security.
Right.
After my awakening, my master put me in charge of security for a Celestial Chorus safe house. So you want to know how I set it up? I ripped out it was a 2-story house with one big living room on the ground floor and a bedroom and a bathroom on the second floor.
All right.
Just so you know the layout. I took out all the carpet on the living room on the main floor, and I replaced it with some of these. And she digs into her bag and she pulls out a little gray tile with 2 little wires coming out of it.
Okay.
This is a piezoelectric tile. When you put pressure on it, it makes a tiny electric charge.
Okay.
And it's so imperceptible that because there's no moving parts, just flexing parts, that people won't know they've tripped an alarm. And what I did was I set it up so that there was only one safe path through the living room to the stairs. And that safe path went through a secret door in the garage.
Okay, that's clever.
So you could go walk in the front door and you'd immediately trip the alarm. You could walk through the back door and immediately trip the alarm. Go through any of the windows and immediately trip the alarm. Turn into mist, go under the door, step on the floor in front of the door as soon as you turn into mist, and immediately trip the alarm.
Should I just have you get the stuff and install the security system?
Probably a good idea.
It'll give you back the debit card.
No, you got to pay your bills.
Oh yeah, true. Here's the thing: you're going to have to tie it into everybody that's not supposed to be there.
Now, what I'll do is I'll silent alarm it to your phone.
All right.
So whenever anyone who goes in there shows up, it'll go to your phone. You can check on the cameras.
Okay, that works because I got students going in after school for extra practice before class. Most times.
Yeah, it's just basically whenever anyone goes in or out, it'll ping your phone.
All right.
What I would still hire a human sensei to take over most of the basic classes.
Okay.
Which will help keep your head down.
Yeah. Especially after that, especially after the school thing, I've used some triage, some of our he wiggles his fingers and our abilities.
You don't need to be too quiet. She points to all of the empty tables immediately around.
Okay. I use some of
I make I hold meetings with vampires here, and I want to make dang sure that nobody overhears what I'm saying. So I've developed a rote where I use correspondence to exclude an area from the effect and to include a circle around that area where people just feel uncomfortable and move.
Yeah, I use some of my life magic and mix some life magic and triage
Mm-hmm.
during the whole skull thing. It was on the news, not the healing, the event itself.
Right. Yeah, I would think it wouldn't have been on the news because if you've spoken to any other Akashic since then, I would have thought they'd have sent you off to wherever they send people who spill the beans.
Yeah, but I was a little, I went MIA for a little while after that because I had to deal with a collapsed lung.
All right. Solus isn't going to be around the Green Dragon anymore. So the next time you have a collapsed lung, you may want to seek magical help from elsewhere. Just to warn you.
Uh, it was just it was just docs. It wasn't even physical. It went away after the docs left.
Mm. Yeah, Paradox is a bitch.
That was from my current apprentice. The kid awakened by a hail of gunfire.
Well, that's gonna screw somebody up, most likely.
Yeah.
Well, if you think any of the various apprentices you're now going to be taking on uh, don't fit in the Akashic Brotherhood, and this advice is free,
Mm-hmm.
let me know, and I'll see where they can fit within the council.
All right. I'll look
And
into it.
I'm not gonna pressure you, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, send them all straight to the Celestial Chorus.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you because I've seen firsthand what happens when people join a tradition that they don't fit in.
Right.
Right.
I'll keep watch, but this is the only apprentice that awakened as of yet. Yeah, all the rest of them are still mortal, and he's fitting in quite well with the Akashic philosophy.
Good.
But I'll let you know when something comes up.
Good. Good. Good.
We might also want to put in a call to the hub and make sure none of their people have gone up missing too.
I'm not sure we're on the best terms with the hub, and I'm pretty sure Fix can handle his own.
Uh, at this point, we're this it could affect anybody. Anybody could come up missing. So uh, beefs are going to have to be put aside, especially
I'm
Fix's
not
mom.
talking about beefs. I'm talking about I don't think they want our help.
That's disconcerting, but
Yeah,
we can work around it.
I'm reasonably sure that they're being kids.
And he'll just facepalm. Oh God.
Let me put it to you this way. The last official communication I got from the hub was they had apparently sat around arguing about what to do about a specific problem that I had just finished handling. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Remember that fucking dude with the vampire powers who kept using them to rob banks?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and a bunch of vampires took him out.
Oh, that's good.
Go figure.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, if there's one thing I'm damn good at, is I'm good at finding the people who can handle shit. And it's not always us.
yep.
And when it is us, then I make sure that one of those people owes us a favor so that when we need someone who can handle shit, we go there.
Yeah. That's
You know?
one thing that Fix never got.
Yeah, Fix was all, we never work with vampires, period. Fix was all, I'm scared of werewolves, period. And that was the end of the conversation with Fix. But no, uh, vampires are devils, but I have to dance in the devil's den in order to use the devil's weapons against itself. Because I guarantee you, if the Sabbats show up, from what I've been hearing and reading and understanding, then we're going to wish the Camarilla was our ally.
Yeah, and judging from what I have heard, along with the shifters.
Yeah, if the Black Spirals start sending war packs through town, we're going to wish that the shifters are on our side. And I don't play politics. I play favors.
Yep.
And I make sure that everybody, or at least all the people who can kick my ass, like me.
Yep. So so I'm going to have to establish communication with the shifters eventually.
Ask for McKenna.
All right.
McKenna's kind of their ambassador to us, like I am our ambassador to them.
Yeah. I've also lost contact with the vampires. The last one I was talking to went silent.
The vampires, they undergo about a coup a week. I hate to say.
Lovely.
There's one that's still active who wears the robes of a Catholic cardinal, and I don't know how he gets away with it.
Yeah, that's a little bit odd.
And then there's Marcella Giovanni, though she's outside of the Camarilla's main circle. Do be careful of her. She's a necromancer.
Good to know.
You can always get in contact with her through Vittorio, who's a chorister mage. He runs Blah Church. Miriam will give you the name of the church. And he's a cousin of hers.
Okay.
There's also they hold Elysium at a club called the Vox. I don't recommend going there unless you have a specific agenda.
All right.
It's not like the Vineyard or the Stormcrow. They don't. It's not 100% neutral ground, though their rules do prevent them from killing you there. Nothing stops them from killing you as soon as you leave.
All right. I understandable.
All right. Speaking of which, if you need to contact the shifters, there's a bar called the Stormcrow that's neutral ground for everybody, and they tend to congregate there.
Okay. Considering I'm probably going to, if we're coming up missing, we don't know who can come up missing, so it'd probably be a good idea to get them notified.
Yeah. Don't tip your hand too heavily. If you mention that a bunch of mages are coming up missing, that might hurt my chances of playing favors.
Okay.
Okay. Beyond that, be careful around the shifters. They can be touchy on certain subjects. And be careful around the vampires. They think you're food. And if you see anything that resembles hermetic stuff on a vampire, do not trust him because he's Tremere.
Kind of figured that we already had an incident at one of the parks. Somebody was sporting the symbol for House Tremere.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Tremere in this town. Do not
Gathered
trust.
that from.
Do not trust the Tremere. Do not let the Tremere touch you. Do not give any vampire your blood, because it might find its way to the Tremere, and that would be bad.
Yeah, will do.
And crosses don't work, though for some reason my necklace does. She grins broadly.
Hold on. He's going to make an intelligence occult roll.
Make an intelligence mage lore roll.
That would be better. Give
Yeah.
me a second. I was updating.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Your mic cut off for a moment.
Sorry. Yeah, that was better.
Yeah. Quite a few celestial chorusers have true faith.
That might be because you have true faith behind that your pendant.
Oh, really? I hadn't noticed. It's not like I pray to Adonai for an hour a day and keep all the holy days holy and follow all but 2 of the commandments. Heck, I'm not even wearing mixed fabrics. And heck, thanks to my incessant complaining, this place keeps kosher.
Okay.
I don't keep kosher because that's one of those rules that if you break it once, you break it forever. But
yeah.
And she actually checks her watch and she says, and yeah, it's 3 hours until I have to do Havdalah. So
I got an hour before my next class, which brings the apprentice to the dojo.
Well, it's too bad. I've got good wine for the Havdalah.
Oh.
I suppose it could happen a little early. It's almost sundown after all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna head to the cabal and do Jewish things. If you care to join me.
Sure.
All right. So, for the sake of random roleplay, Mirriam drives you to the cabal and heads up to her room, and she opens this wooden cabinet, which has in it a braided candle with blue and white candles sort of braided as they're braided around. And she starts praying in Hebrew, and she sings a wordless tune. As she lights the candle, she passes it to you, and says to just hold it up.
All
and
right.
She puts it back down, and she brings out a box of spices. She sniffs, and she hands it to you.
Just follow suit.
And she takes the box of spices. She puts it down, and she takes a glass of wine. She takes a sip, and she hands it to you.
He'll take a sip.
And
You get a brief glimpse of a bitter beer face because he has not drank at all.
actually, this is kosher red, so it's ridiculously sweet.
So yeah, he gets taken back from just from the sweet.
Yep. And she takes the cup and she puts it on the table, and she takes the candle and she puts it out in the wine, and she says, "And with that, the Sabbath is over."
All right. Now he goes. Now I know why I don't drink.
That's kosher red. That's about the least alcoholic alcohol on earth. Yeah, it's like you're not allowed to ferment kosher wines that long, so they have very little alcohol and lots of sugar.
Yeah. Sorry, that took me back a little bit.
Here, wash it down with this, and she pours a glass of something and doesn't let you see the label and hands it over.
He will take a sip out of it.
Okay, this tastes completely different because she just poured you a glass of absinthe. It kind of tastes like you're drinking licorice.
Really?
Really?
He just looks at you and says that. Really?
Yes. She chuckles and takes the glass and slams it back, and she says, "Believe me, after some of the shit I've seen, alcohol is a godsend. And I say that as someone who has true faith. Because Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Blessed is God who tells us to drink the fruit of the vine."
I will have to not. I'll just have to deal with not doing that one.
Your loss. You'll never finish your bar mitzvah at this rate, she said, grinning broadly.
Hey. Oh. Well, I don't think there's any Jewish Kashyyyks in the Brotherhood or
Why not? There are Buddhist celestial coursers.
Yeah. Well, so far I know there's Christian Kashyyyks, but they're kind of that weird group.
And I also know that there are Chinese Jews.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's in fact there's in fact an entire village of them within the city of Kaifeng.
Okay.
So there you go.
True. Well, there's so much to deal with.
Miriam's just going to keep ranting on this. And heck, one of the most lethal forms of martial arts was invented by a Jew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Heck, I'd like to see a Krav Maga master go up against a Do master at some point. That would just be an interesting thing to watch.
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Universal Way doing crazy Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon stuff against no rules, do what works.
Well, actually, if it's a Do master, you also gotta think he's got magic backing him.
Probably, but to make it fair, he'd probably not be using it.
Mm.
So you'd be trying to your Do master would probably be at least making things fair, because otherwise the Krav Maga master has probably got military training and he's not bringing his rifle, even though a lot of Krav Maga techniques require an unloaded rifle.
Yeah, true.
So, because I didn't study it, but I've seen it. But they could do things like they can use the weight of the rifle to do elbow strikes.
Nice.
Yeah. And things of that nature, but it would still be an interesting martial arts match to see.
Yeah.
Heck, it'd be interesting to see a Do master and a Sambo master.
That would be interesting to fight to watch.
Yeah, the Russian martial art that is designed to basically wrestle bears.
Yep.
And Miriam will pour herself another glass of the absinthe, and will actually sweeten it this time. Because when she gave it to you, she gave it to you straight.
Yeah, like that wasn't part of getting a reaction.
That was the whole point, was to get a reaction out of you. And she'll mix in the water and the sugar, and she'll offer you a sip.
He'll just politely decline. No, I'm good.
And she'll shrug, and she'll drink hers, not slamming it back this time, because now that she's sweetened it, she can enjoy it.
Yeah.
But really, everyone does what works. My faith in God is what works. And I'm not a zealot about it. I'm not one of those people who holds up the end is nigh, repent now signs. If God wants to destroy the world again, no amount of holding up those signs is going to save you.
Yeah.
Heck, it's not going to save anyone else.
Yep.
God forgives only who he wants to forgive. And everyone does what works.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to do what works for me and cover our secondary.
It's not even a chantry; it's an asset at this point. We'll need to do some things before it's an actual chantry.
Yeah.
For now, though, it's just going to be an asset providing funds, and possibly new recruits. All right.
Yep. All right. I can sense the flow of time ever since the whole power plant incident, and every time I turn that sense on while I'm in there, it always pings something underneath my feet. So I'm thinking he's got a node there.
It's probably a good clue. One moment.
Mm-hmm.
I got to look something up out of character. Miriam would know it by heart, but I got to look something up out of character.
Oh.
Mage. Places. Green Dragon Tavern. I want you to get in touch with Oh, they gave the entire fucking contract to the hub. Great. Never mind.
Oh.
Okay.
My thing is, Yeah,
No, I thought they just gave Tarsus and what's his face to the hub. No,
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get in touch with Marcella Giovanni.
Okay.
And she's a vampire, so I don't fully trust her. But I want you to discuss with her what it would cost to get permanent security from them on the dojo.
Okay.
And mention that at the moment we're just discussing things. I'll make some calls to see if I can get some more mage type security before we go looking for the node, because I know something out there is collecting nodes, so the more nodes we have, the better.
Yep.
And I don't care how the fuck we defend it, we got to defend these things.
Yep.
Oh, and do me a favor and try to find a decent lawyer. Doesn't need to be a better lawyer than Wolfram and Hart, but it needs to be someone who, if they try to legal shenanigans shit, that they can hold it up in court for the next 20 years.
Okay. That's going to be. I can talk to Shidoshi and see what he can do, because he's pretty good with business and legal stuff.
Okay. Okay, and before you go, I got a joke for you. Just
Go.
something.
Shoot.
It's the Akashics have cones, and us Jews, we have jokes.
Okay.
So here's one to think about. So there's going to be a flood of biblical proportions, going to wipe out everything. And so all the religious leaders go on an international television broadcast. And first the Pope comes up and he says, "Oh, you can find Jesus, you can still be saved." And all the heads of the little Christian denominations go, "Oh, you can find Jesus, you can still be saved." And the Dalai Lama comes up and he says, "Oh, it is time to prepare for reincarnation." And a Muslim imam comes up and he says, Muhammad's judgment is upon us. It's too late. You should have all been Muslims.
Okay.
And finally, the Kohen Gadol, the chief rabbi of Israel, he steps up to the podium. He clears his throat. He lowers the mic because the Muslim imam was like a foot taller than him. And he says, "It's all right. Here's the deal. We got 3 days to figure out how to breathe underwater."
Okay.
Like I said, the Akashics have cones. We have jokes.
Interesting joke, but okay.
Oh, yeah, we got a bunch of them like that. They really make you think. Like, so this rabbi decides he wants to take a week off.
Yeah.
And he calls in sick, and he doesn't show up for services, and he decides to go golfing. And he goes onto the links, and because everyone else is at services, he doesn't get recognized by anybody. And he takes a drive on the first hole, and he gets a hole in one. And he takes a drive on the second hole, and he gets a hole in one. He takes a drive on the third hole, and he gets a hole in one. And an angel looks over at God and says, "What are you doing? He just shirked his duty to you. What are you doing?" And God says, "So who can he tell?"
Okay, that's another one. Yeah.
Or there's my personal favorite. So a rabbi and a priest are having lunch together, and the priest has this big pulled pork sandwich, and the rabbi has a little tiny corned beef on rye, no mayo, no cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And the priest looks over at the rabbi and he says, "Have you ever wondered what pork tastes like just once?" And the rabbi thinks of that a moment. He says, "Well, you're celibate, aren't you? You aren't allowed to have sex." And the priest says, "Yeah, that's right." And the rabbi takes a bite out of his sandwich and says, "It's better than pork."
Okay. God.
And yeah, and having had pork, I gotta say it's better than pork.
uh, I have it every once in a while. It's got to be prepared just right, or it tastes weird.
I did tell you the first thing I did in the military.
Mm-hmm.
The first meal that I got to choose for myself, which means I'm out of basic and I'm on the aircraft carrier that they were deploying me to.
Yeah.
And it was a lunch meal because I just gotten in that morning. And on the frickin' plane ride, it was nothing but MREs. So,
Yeah.
anyways, basically, I walked up to the buffet and got an entire plate of bacon. Nothing but bacon. Whole lunch was just bacon.
Yeah.
Because screw it. I had already not been keeping kosher the entire time through basic, but screw it, just bacon. And I kind of regretted it right away because that much bacon will really screw with you.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
At the very least, I didn't have to do PT that day, but dang.
Especially when you, okay, yeah, when your body is not used to a certain type of food, your body's
Yeah.
not got the proper things to break it down. I can see you running to the bathroom.
Yeah, it was not pleasant.
I can't think you pork is bad. You try seeing me with beef.
Well, what happens?
Uh, I run to the bathroom,
Yeah.
spewing like a can of beer.
Yeah. Yep. Well, since then, my bacon tolerance has gotten much higher.
Oh, when you're pretty much the only meat, kind of meat with me, the only meat I actually eat is everything non-red meat. It I have no tolerance to red meat,
Yep.
so it's kind of sucky. But uh, okay, so another thing we're going to need to deal with is probably bring to the council's attention uh, the hub chantries BS and child antics, and probably get
I think I'll
that
let
decision revoked.
what I think I want to do is I want to have the council observe on their own because I would rather not eat up what little favors I've still got with the council tying up this investigation and them just cleaning up their act. Because irregardless of what we do on that front, they'll either clean up their act or they won't. And if they won't, then the council will figure out that, hey, we're still a thing and we're doing stuff.
Yeah.
And if they do clean up their act, mazel tov.
If they don't,
If they don't clean up their act, the council will notice, send them back here. Okay. And if they do clean up their act and they get wind that I called the council to investigate them, then they're going to hate us.
Even more so than they probably already do.
Yeah. So, all right, you got stuff to do and out of character stuff's happening here. So,
okay, I'll see you. And with that, we will leave with the with Ryu and Miriam parting ways. Ryu go back to class and inform
All right.
his new apprentice what's going on. This has been an edition for Hong Kong House of Cards. See ya.